Hi there, today we're going to do a short little mini sequence for low back care. Okay, so let's just dive right in. We're going to start with a child's pose. If that doesn't work for you, you can always sit in a seated forward fold, rounding the spine forward, or sit in a chair and fold over top of your legs. Other options include bringing supports underneath of the thighs or in between the thighs, things like pillows or bolsters. That works too. Stretching out here into a nice child's pose, wiggling in. And let's just start here by relaxing our hips towards our heels. So taking a big breath in and sigh out the mouth and let the body become heavy. Let's do that 2 more times together. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, let the hips be heavy into the heels. Last one. Now introducing some pelvic breathing. So let's breathe and feel our pelvic floor relax. Filling the abdomen with air, the diaphragm is also expanding. As you exhale, everything pulls in. Ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Just subtly, just gently. Breathing in to expand. Breathing out to pull in. Breathing out, expand. Breathing in, pull in. The last one, inhale. Exhale. Whew. Now let's rise up. So right away, we're going to move into a pigeon pose, or a variation of pigeon. So I encourage you to sit all the way over onto your right hip, and then bringing the shin either parallel with the front edge of the mat, or maybe it tucks in a little bit more. The focus in this pose is on that front glute. And so this hip flexor getting stretched is secondary, but if it works for you, you can straighten the leg behind you and get a little bit of an opening in that front hip flexor as well. Breathing here. Now you're welcome to stay up or to meander your way down. It's totally up to you and where you feel that you're getting the most benefit and the most sensation. So taking time to arrive and start to scan through the body, becoming aware of any sensations in the body, perhaps sensations of the mind or emotions. See if you can start to let go of some of those things. We are in a safe place, in a safe position. You can begin to let go of tension, let go of any fear you might have about your back, your body, and encourage deep breaths. Final breath. Gently begin to walk your hands onto the mat, once again lifting yourself up. We're going to press down through our hands and maybe curl the toes of the back foot under, and we're going to lift onto that knee. Now from that knee, you can actually step the foot forward, coming into a low lunge. So from this low lunge, let's lift up together and soften our hips forward. So there's still an engagement happening here. We're still pulling the legs together a little bit. We're not totally dumping here. We are engaged but softening, easing, melting slowly forward, allowing for there to be a opening. Now in this low lunge, we're going to take some arm movements called owl wings. It's always important when we're looking after our low back to maintain mobility in that upper back and in the shoulders. So bringing the arms out to the side, touch thumb and index or thumb and any of the fingers, whichever one feels good for you, Inhale the arms forward, bend the elbows, touch the forearms together, and then exhale, extend, open. Inhale together, exhale, open. One more inhale, and exhale. Nice work. Float your hands down by your front foot. And we'll shift back to a runner stretch. Another key part of back care is opening up those hamstrings. So right away, this is a tight pose for me. I'm going to try to bring my hips equal or level to one another. So that may mean bringing that right hip back, straightening or extending that leg a little bit more, and flexing that foot and allowing that hip to lower just a bit. Breathing and lengthening the spine. Keeping length here is important. Keeping integrity in the body is important for allowing space for your body to breathe. When we collapse, it's difficult to breathe, rightly so. And so keeping a long spine allows us space to breathe deep. Let's take one more breath. Alright, slide that leg back, bend the knee, and let's come to all fours. Finding some cat-cows. In our cat-cows today, let's play around with having all of the movements start with the tailbone. So I'm going to start with a rounding movement. I'm going to tuck my tailbone and then allow that to ripple through my spine. Now moving into cow, moving the tailbone and allowing it to ripple. Nice. Two more together. If you would like to add your breath, it's an exhale for cat right here and an inhale for cow. Last movement. Nice work. Finding a neutral spine now. So I find it comfortable to just kind of into this position, but active, integrity, engage, push down through the hands, push down to the knees, and notice how my spine creates a neutral position. There's still some natural curve to it, but it's supported. So now we're going to really work with our core four. So looking at four main areas, we have the pelvic region, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, our front abdominals, and our back muscles that are strengthening. Particularly, we're looking at activating that multifidus muscle that runs along the spine. Extending the right arm and then shifting the weight, getting strong, stable, extend that left leg. You're welcome to stay as you are right here. If you'd like to lift, you can. Now we're going to be adding breath, so let's do this movement once without worrying about our breath. Let's just slowly guide elbow and knee towards one another. Nice work. So inhale, extend, feel that whole abdomen fill up with breath. As you exhale, we're making a shh sound as we pull the knee and elbow together. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Shh. 3 times. That was 1. Shh. That was 2. Last one. Here we go. Shh. And lower the hand and knee. Nice work. You may want to wiggle that out a little bit, and then let's get anchored for the other side. So walk those left fingertips forward, extend the right leg. Option to lift. Breathe in. Shh. And that was 3. Let's place it down. Whew, that was awesome work, guys. You can probably really feel that in your core, in your back. Yeah, that's a great one for strengthening and keeping our back where we want it to be. Let's move through the other leg. So we've only done one side so far. Let's step. You might want to come onto your fingertips to make some space, but we're stepping our left leg forward and right away into that runner stretch. So shifting the weight back over your right leg, and I'm going to try to soften and lower and pull back that left hip. Then you're going to want to do the same until your hips are balanced. Now it's okay to keep a bend in the knee, especially if it's tight. My hamstrings, they are tight. So I keep a bend in the knee, and over time it'll soften. Straight spine to allow breath. Find that deep breathing into belly, ribs, chest. Breathing out, chest, ribs, belly. One more together. Shifting forward into that low lunge. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Remember, there's that slight engagement and then a softening and a melting forward. This time we're going to take a different arm movement that is going to work more with the subtleties of the extension and flexion of that upper thoracic spine. We're taking all 10 fingers to touch one another. And the important part here is that there is a straight line between the back of your hand and your forearm. Often we like to flex our wrist one way or the other. We want to create a straight line. Breathing in, moving the arms overhead as far as they go, and then guiding them back down. Inhale, moving upwards. And exhale down. Now notice sometimes to get your arms a little bit further, the elbows splay out. Keep them shoulder width apart. Nice work. One more. Just because. It can feel so good. Alrighty, here we go. We're moving into that pigeon. So from here, we're going to bend at the knee and sit onto our left hip. Now you can adjust your shin wherever it needs to go, flexing the foot so it can be parallel with the front edge of the mat, or it can be pulled in. I'm just going to scoot up on my mat here. Now your back leg can stay as it is, or it can kind of internally rotate so that you get a little stretch in that front hip flexor. And let's lower down. So we've done this on the other side. Know that it's very normal for each side to feel different. And here I encourage you to become a neutral observer. Noticing a sensation and being curious about it, being interested about it, but there's no analyzing, there's no blame, there's no judgment. It's like, oh, okay, this area feels tight. That's interesting. And moving on to the next sensation and the next sensation. And we're going to extend this neutral observer, no judgment, to our mind and our emotion. Noticing as thoughts come in, as feelings arise, becoming aware, no judgment, just letting them go as quickly as they come. Like thoughts and emotions and sensations that are just floating down a river, they move on by. Taking a couple breaths. And bring your hands onto the mat, pressing yourself all the way back up. Getting grounded through the hands, maybe curl the toes of the back leg under, and let's come back to our child's pose. So you can do a different variation than you did at the beginning. I'm actually going to take a knees together variation so that I get a really nice rounding in my spine. You may enjoy having your legs apart and letting your breath press in between your thighs. Let's close out our practice today with a few deep breaths and focusing on sending our breath to that low back region. Inhaling, feeling that belly, that rib cage, the side body, the back body, all expanding. And emptying slowly. See if you can make each breath a little longer, a little smoother, a little softer than the last. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now you're welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. If this is it for you today, like it is for me, you can come up to a seated position and bring yourself back into the world. Maybe some shoulder rolls or neck stretches. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.